What's going on, people? Another weekly installment of a decent workout. We got 45 minutes to go around, full body. We're gonna incorporate some E.M.O.M, a little bit of TABATA work, so a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What you're gonna need, if you want a mat, go ahead, grab a mat. If you're comfortable getting down in the grass or the dirt, be my guest, get crazy. I used 3 kettlebells, so I had a 65, a 45, and a 30, so this would be like lower body and pressing, and then core work and whatnot, I'll be using that 30. If you are comfortable with the movements, let's just hop right into it, give me a couple seconds and we'll get it going. If you are a little bit unsteady with some of the exercises, we can go ahead, jump to the back, and I'll have all the movements and videos and everything laid out for you. But yeah, let's go ahead, hop into it. Let's have a good one. Alrighty, y'all, we got 9 minutes here, so let's get comfortable. We're hitting some upper body, lower body, a lot of core, some metabolic conditioning. We're getting it all right here. So let's batten down the hatches and let's get after it.
Yeah, street, alright, so we chop it, so we do it. Down to now we lock down the street, so we chop it, so we do it. This is when you come to lock down the street, so we chop it, so we do it. This is rhythm, I lock down the street, so we chop it, so we do it. This is when you come to lock down the street, alright, so we chop it, so we do it. Down to now we lock down the street, so we chop it, so we do it. This is when you come to lock down the street. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tapping up the big tune them. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tapping up the big tune them. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tapping up the big tune them. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tapping up the big tune them.
Excellent job here, my friends. 9 minutes down, and we're about a quarter way through the workout, so let's savor these 2 minutes, kind of give you a heads up for the next go around. We're getting some rows, getting some RDLs, a lot of core right here, switching up the tempo, so going from that Tabata here to E.M.O.M. So you got this whole minute here to yourself, so get through the reps, take whatever time you need to catch that breath, and right here we got 12. You got it. a side note, can't really recommend enough working out next to a dog park. In between sets, there was some very nice puppies to look at. So if you ever get the chance, I would definitely bring some kettlebells out that way.
like you always want stripes, like you always want just like you know. I always want stripes, like you always want stripes, like you always.
inside the rabbit hole. Set me free from you. Somebody please keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from somebody please keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Somebody please help me. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from somebody please keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. On and on. What kind of spell you put on me? I've lost all sense and can't feel. Only you can make me whole. I don't wanna lose my soul. I'm so scared I can't breathe. I just don't know what to believe. You wrote my name on your soul. Set me free from you. Somebody please keep me from twisting.
And another great job by you guys. So impressed today. Take these 2 minutes. We're going to hop back into a Tabata style of workout. We're going to revisit some of the older movements that we had in the beginning of this workout. The halo, we're now throwing in an extension. The clean, the press, we're now going to throw in a little bit of a rotation. Then with that down dog, we're going to throw in a kettlebell. We're going to get some pull throughs and sticking with that bear stance. So like I said, let's get these breaths in. Let's savor these 2 minutes, and then we're going to hop right back on into it. This time a little bit harder.
Please help me. Please help me.
Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it will cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering why my mind keeps on spinning. This isn't how living to me was told. Why am I like this? Something's always amiss. Can't put my finger on it, but it's there. Wait for it to subside, but my mind won't apply. Waiting for the clear. Is it bad sometimes? I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful. Listen, I can see the light of day, but I can also see the bones decay. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away. Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering how the world keeps on spinning, kinda scared of living when it unfolds. Hard to see the light when everything is dying, waiting for the clear. Thankful I'm alive, but terrified of dying. run away.
around here. You got 6 minutes till you got your freedom back. Same idea as the first E.M.O.M, touching upon these same movements. Again, trying to make them a little bit more challenging. That first one is going to be that bent over row, the RDL. Let's go ahead, let's throw in a single leg knee drive. Work that balance, work that hip instability. And then to pair with this, we're just going to have some Starfish. Don't really know the name of this exercise, but it's going to be an alternating side plank. Throw up a leg, get the adductors, get the hips and all that jazz. Finishing strong right here, you got 6 minutes. Definitely want to recommend first movement. If you're indoors, pay it no mind, but if you're outdoors or if you're working on an unstable surface, take it easy. Moving very slow. You'll see me, I almost take a tumble on the first rep, but very much so, try and find your footing, move at your own pace, don't try and rush any of these right here. Appreciate y'all tuning in again. Just a couple of Tabata, something easy. A very gnarly bee sting on my foot, so I was trying to eliminate any type of flexion in the toes or anything, so a lot of squat patterns. You know, just focusing on hip instability, bilateral movements, stuff like that. Getting the core engaged, getting a little bit of rotation, keeping that heart rate up the whole time. But yeah, we'll be at you again next week. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully y'all enjoyed your workout. Also, I'm not sure if you guys care about like the background on the screen. Typically I'll have it in my backyard and there's a dumpster and a staircase and everything. If this is nicer on the eyes, leave me a comment, because it was kind of a pain in the neck to bring these down to the park. But if y'all like it, I kind of enjoyed working out down by the water and the sunshine and everything. So if it makes your eyeballs happy over on your end, definitely let me know and I'll continue doing that. No difference for me. So it's really up to you guys. What do you guys enjoy better? All right, let me know. Movement number 1, we're doing a squat curl into a halo, so a full body complex right here, working the lower body, getting a little bit of shoulder flexion here with that kettlebell, and obviously working the core throughout this. So as we lower ourselves down, we're going to have in that goblet position up on top. Then again, as we're descending, we're going to let it drop down, elbows inside the knees, and that's kind of going to keep our bearings for that nice squat pattern, keeping the knees out. As we come upwards, we're doing that curl up to our chin, and then we're just alternating, so making that figure 8 up around one of the ears, making sure your ribs aren't flaring out or anything like that. Keep it nice and strong in the core. And as we're alternating, just be mindful, try to remember which ear you went to each time. We don't want to keep on going to the same side every time, but hitting that for 40 seconds. The squat curl, we're moving into an alternating single arm clean, into an overpress, into a contralateral single leg stance, so a lot of abbreviations right here. But all it is a single arm clean. Let's say we're racking it up into that front shoulder. We're going to do a push press, so use a little momentum from the lower body if you need to, driving that up overhead, relying on a lot of hip and shoulder stability, so maintaining that posture up overhead. The same arm that you're pressing with, that same leg, we're just going to drive up high knee. So contralateral means opposite sides. So if it's our left leg staying on the ground, it's going to beat our right arm pressing. So just going across the body, relying on a lot of core, a lot of hip stability, like what I was saying. Turn to that center position, and then drop that kettlebell back to the ground, and then we're just switching sides. And up this first go around with the Tabata metabolic conditioning type thing. So we're hopping into a bear stance, do a couple of lateral steps. Doesn't really matter which way you go about it. It's more just proprioception and get into a funky position, thinking how your body's going to move in that space. So go to the edge of your yoga mat, or if you're just working kind of like in an open gym floor plan type thing, you can just do 3-4 steps and then move into a down dog. So give your hamstrings a little bit of love, put them on a stretch, and then moving back into that bear positioning, hop back on the other side, just repeating this for the remainder of the time. Tabata, we're going to hop into like an E.M.O.M style of approach, so every minute on the minute you're going to have to do your allotted amount of reps, and whatever leftover time you have in that minute, that'll be a rest period. So the first one will be a bent over row into a B stance RDL. Let's just start everything on our right hand side. The same side that's pulling, that leg will be back. So let's have our big toe kind of in line with that front heel, still shoulder width apart, just a little bit of a staggered stance. And then with our bent over row, we're still trying to have a nice flat back, glutes engaged, core engaged, everything nice and tight. Rowing through our elbow, taking that kettlebell up into our back pocket. So we're going to get one of them, pulling through the front heel, driving the hips forward. That'll be an RDL, so Romanian deadlift. And that'll count as one. Doing 10 altogether. And then with whatever remainder of that time, you can rest before we switch sides. Do the rows after we do the RDL. We have some upper body pulling, lower body pulling. We're going to move into a whole bunch of core, but also some upper body pushing. So this is a fun one right here. We're going to move into a low plank. If you want more of a challenge, you can be up on your hand, but I feel like being in a low plank is plenty. This is kind of a tough one. So align yourself, right? So let's start on our right side and have it by the horns. If you have turf, that's perfect. If you have light rug, something to slide that kettlebell on. Hardwood floor works fine. That's why I have my plank. And you're going to extend. So as you extend, pushing away, you're creating a very long lever arm, a little bit of weight as well. So you're having that tension there in your core and you're pressing away. If you feel any type of pain or any type of compression in your low back, that's far enough. You can bring that kettlebell back in. As you extend, drive that same leg into the ground as hard as you can. So if it's your right arm pushing, those right toes really want to dig into the ground, really dig into the grass wherever you're at. And then once you get that same leg on that side, so everything's on the right side, we're going to do an abduction, right? So we're going to tap that right toe out to the side, get your glute med activated on that side, and then kind of the reversal of where we're moving that plank. So now we're creating a longer lever arm on the lower half, a lot of hip stability, a lot of core, upper body pushing right here. It's a good one. Pace yourself. You got 10 of them. Tabata of the afternoon. We're just going to be revisiting some of the older movement patterns from earlier in the workout and just trying to tweak them a little bit, give you more of a challenge. So we have that squat curl. we have the halo. Let's throw in an extension down at the bottom portion of that squat. So same idea, as soon as we get that curl, we're holding it up by the horns right tight underneath our chin. We're gonna try and press it out. So a lot of flexion for the shoulders right here. So really trying to have that good stability, especially in the core. It should counterbalance you so you can have a nice upright. Yeah, hold that out there for a 1 Mississippi. You'll feel your shoulders start burning a little bit. 2, we're doing a single arm clean into an ipsilateral rotational press. So we talked about contralateral in the last go around. So ipsilateral will be, if you guessed it, same side. Racking that clean, let's go to the right for the first go around. Up on that right shoulder, we're gonna rotate to the right side and drive up with our right arm. So especially with the rotation right here, we don't want to be swinging it and pressing it and getting it all out of whack, because, you know, as we're generating force and going upwards, now we're compromising the shoulder and swinging it up overhead. Don't want to be doing that. So let's complete the rotation first. So really strong in the trunk and the core, stabilize everything as we rotate, good thoracic mobility. And then as soon as we get to that end point where we're not moving anymore, then we start getting that press up overhead. So nice slow control to the rotation, try to explode up overhead. Nice slow, move it in, back into the ground, cleaning it up on the other side. Got this Tabata, hopping it back into that bear stance. We're really strong in the wrist, trying to keep these shins nice and parallel to the ground. Flat back, not spilling the milk. If you got a cup on your low back, so everything's nice and stable. Now just throwing in a little bit of weight. So let's say the kettlebell's on our left hand side. We're gonna go ahead, reach in on our right and just pull it across. So again, some upper body pulling, a lot of scapular strength to stabilize there. Pulling across. When you lift up one arm to do the pull, same idea as the other core movements that we were working with. Try and drive that same leg into the ground. Right arm coming off to grab the kettlebell, push in that right set of toes. And just repeating on each side. If you want the challenge, you can toss in a down dog. That's what I did. So just a little bit more upper body pulling and some relief for the hamstrings. Home stretch here, gonna have a 6-minute E.M.O.M just to wrap everything up, kind of revisiting the same ideas, the Tabatas that we were working with before. So same movement patterns, just spicing it up a little bit, make it more challenging for you. So we got the BOR, bent over row, gonna have the RDL, Romanian deadlift. Now we're gonna move into that single leg stance. Doing the row, got the RDL, got all that down pat. Now we're gonna move the rear leg. Let's say everything's on our right side, doing the row, doing the deadlift. Now that right leg, we're gonna bring it forward. So now we're relying on a lot of hip stability as we're moving. We're looking at a little bit of anti-rotation there as we're moving around that kettlebell, and balance as well. So now we're taxing that front leg as a deadlift as well as that front hip. This will be a fun one. Find your balance, go nice and slow. You got a minute to complete these. It's not 40 seconds or anything, so just take your time, get through it. And finally, we are going to do a alternating side plank into a starfish. I'm just calling it a starfish. Hop into a side plank. We're gonna be up on our hands. Extend your arm, also extend your leg. So if you're on your left hand, it'll be your right arm up, or right leg going. So this is gonna test your obliques. This is really gonna test your abductors on that hip that's moving. And then as we move around, as we're rotating and everything, and make sure everything's not getting out of whack, so it's nice and fluid. And we're just alternating between the two, trying to get 10 within a minute. The raising of the leg is difficult. You can just move into a side plank and just, reverse sides, hold it there for 1 Mississippi when you get there. But that'll be the last movement here.